Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lecture, we have to explain three types of critical points. Before discussing three types of critical point, first we have to define critical point. Let's suppose we have a function f of x, then a point x is equal to c is said to be critical point for the function f of x if f of f dash of c is equal to 0 or f dash at a point C is undefined. Then point x equal to C is said to be critical point. Now, three types of critical points exist in single variable calculus. First one is relative maxima. Critical points on which relative maxima occur. This is the first one or the first type of critical point. For a function f, relative maxima occur at a points whose first coordinate is c and second coordinate is f of c, where both of the following criteria are satisfied. First one is f dash of f dash at a point c is equal to 0 or f dash at a point c does not exist. Second one, first derivative is greater than 0 on the left of x equal to c and first derivative less than 0 on the right of x equal to c. This is the first critical point. For example, the graphical behavior of this point is like this. Let's suppose this is point x equal to c. So first derivative is greater than 0 on the left side and first derivative is less than 0 on the right side. So x equal to c is the relative maxima. Now, relative minima. Critical points on which relative minima occur. This is the second type of critical point. For a function f, relative minima occur at the critical points whose first coordinate is c and second coordinate is f of c, where both of the following criteria are satisfied. First criteria is f dash of c is equal to 0 or f dash of c does not exist. So this is the definition of critical point. Now further we categorize this critical point. First derivative less than 0 on the left of x equal to c and first derivative greater than 0 on the right of x equal to c. So this means that the graphical behavior of this is like this. Let's suppose this is x equal to c. So first derivative is less than 0 on the left side and first derivative greater than 0 to the right side of the critical points. So this is the relative minima of the given function. So this is the second type of critical point. Now third one. Third one is vertical tangent. Critical point on which vertical tangents occur. Some critical points are neither relative maxima nor relative minima. Means that there are some critical points on which neither relative maxima nor relative minima occurs. At vertical tangents, the derivative is undefined. These are inflection points. These are inflection points. This means that the third one is the critical point, which is inflection point, which are the points where the curve changes concavity from concave up to concave down or from concave down to concave up. This is the another critical points. Now, examples of critical points. Example is identify all critical points of the polynomial f of x is equal to x cube plus 2x square. Now first step 1. The first derivative, the first derivative is to take the first derivative of the given function using power rules. For derivative of x cube is 3x square and derivative of the second term is using power rule is 4x. So f dash of x is equal to 3x square plus 4x. Now second step. The second step is to set the first derivative equal to 0 and then solve. By factorizing, this gives us the critical numbers. Note there are no points where the first derivative is undefined in this case, in the given function. So first we have to set first derivative is equal to 0. Now by taking x as common, x times 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. This means that x is equal to 0, x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus 4 by 3. So this is the critical points of the given function. Now third step. The third step is to plug our critical numbers into our original function. This gives us the y coordinate of the y coordinates of our critical points. So our critical points are 0, 0. Because if we put 0 on the given original function, this gives 0, comma 0. And if we plug minus 4 by 3 on the original function, we get y coordinate is 32 by 27. So this is the another critical points. Now on the graph. On the graph, this is the relative maxima. So this is the critical point on which relative maxima occur. And this is the another critical point on which relative minima occur. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe the channel for more informative videos.